No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. I'm in here with Alexis Texas today. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is pretty epic. Have you ever noticed people mentioning you in rap songs? Is that the kind of thing that enters into your consciousness as an adult star?
You know, I didn't think of it going in and being an adult star, but I think it is pretty cool. I always feel like whenever it does happen, a friend or somebody will be like, hey, do you know they sung about you?
Right.
Do you know them? I'm like, I don't know them at all, but...
There's something about having a rhyming name that people will just rap about you a lot. Like, I noticed that Chief Keef and Waka Flocka get like way more, like very influential rappers, very great men. They get way more shout outs than I think a lot of other rappers get because their names have a rhyme, and then you have like the same superpower.
I like to have superpowers, so I'll take that.
It's pretty cool. Can I got to quote this one, and I'm so glad that one of my employees reminded me of this today, because it would have felt like a huge gaping hole, pause, in this interview if I didn't say this, but RIP the great Juice Wrld.
Yes.
You know which one I'm about to cite?
I do, please.
I'm a young king. I might fuck Alexis Texas, but I ain't on no Drake shit. I won't get her pregnant. Damn young Juice Wrld boy, you so reckless.
Yes.
Rest in peace. That's
R.I.P. That was one of the first ones that I was like, I like that. You never know whose mind you're running across. And so I think that it's cool to be, again, a part of their song in some way.
I think Billie Eilish was right about this one too, though, because Juice WRLD's lying. He had a girlfriend the whole time I known him.
But don't they all lie a little bit? And not all of things in their songs are really like exact things.
It's embellishment.
For sure.
It's artistic. He said, I might fuck Alexis Texas, which is really just like, I might do some cool ass shit that y'all are not expecting from me.
That's true. But it was like, catching,
I got a trick up my sleeve. Have you dated within the rap community?
I have not.
Not at all?
I have not. No, I haven't.
Really?
Yes.
That's too bad.
I don't know. I feel like I was married for a long time.
What years are we talking there?
What years? A long time ago. I've happily divorced for 5 years. So, a long time ago. But I was married when I first got into, a little bit after in the industry. And then I was kind of dating, and now I'm single. So who knows?
How's that going?
Never say never.
How's single life?
Single life's really weird. It's really weird dating world out there. I feel like it's...
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, you're happy that you don't have to do that.
Being out of the... I remember last time I was in a relationship for 2 years, around 2008, 2009, I got back into the dating game and everybody had Facebook. And like before I got into that relationship, everybody was MySpaced out. Now
everyone's Instagrammed up. People will find your whole TikTok, history. Like before, click this picture, go somewhere else. And...
You should go date on TikTok. Go find a dude on there. There's got to be something. No, yeah, definitely not.
One of the songs from my name in it was really famous on TikTok. It was Aloha from 10K Cash. It was Where's Alexis Texas?
Oh, and he is a Texas legend himself, so that's pretty cool.
That was a cool one. I actually was in his video for that.
He's somebody you might want to consider dating.
He's too young for me. He's just barely turned 18, so I don't even think I even said anything to him about the song until he turned 18. But I
could plug you guys together or whatever. Have you thought?
I know him. I was in his video.
Oh, you were in the video.
Yeah,
that's
I was in
amazing.
the video. Yes, Def Jam did that, so it was pretty fun.
10K Cash. But how do you feel about that haircut? The shag?
It's, to each his own.
It's such like a haircut that if you didn't know that like half the dudes in Dallas have that haircut.
I was gonna say it's a Texas thing,
Right. You would be like, what the fuck? Like if you were just some dude from London and you came to Dallas for some reason and you just saw 8 guys standing in the corner with that haircut, you'd be like, are they all deformed? Do they have like tumors growing out of their necks?
Yeah.
Not what I thought.
Not at all.
There's one other really good lyric too, which is funny because that song was Juice WRLD and Lil Yachty. Juice WRLD said that lyric, but then there's also a Yachty song where he said, I'm about to cop the No Limit necklace, daydreaming about Alexis Texas. Boy, her booty too reckless.
Ooh, my booty is reckless.
It's funny that they both rhymed reckless with Alexis Texas.
Like you said, my name is easily, rhymed with. So maybe that is good rhyming.
It's just interesting to see how rappers like all think sort of similarly. Like they say Alexis Texas and like 2 great minds, Yachty and Juice, both went to reckless.
I mean, maybe that's what my booty does to them. Makes them reckless.
Was there a time period where you just found out like, wow, I guess I'm blessed with this ass?
I mean, I didn't really know, like being from Texas, everything's bigger in Texas. So
A lot
it's
of good butts in
something,
Texas,
there's
yeah.
a lot of curvy women in Texas. So it's something I just kind of embraced from early on. And I didn't really feel like I found out until like high school-ish because I was playing basketball and we used to dress up for game days. So like I would wear, dress pants or something like that. And like they'd be like, oh, your booty's just shaking. And like, oh, I could see your ass from the front. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
But that's a weird thing is that giant ass was not necessarily all that popular
It was not.
until maybe the last like 5 to 10 years, maybe
That's
a little
true.
longer. But I mean, it's very weird to think about that wasn't really a thing until Instagram.
Well, that's why I feel like for me it was something that just I was born that way. I was,
Right.
I'm part Puerto Rican, so my booty comes being just born that way.
But-
so I didn't really think of it anything different. And being also from Texas, you see so many beautiful, women out there that are just curvy girls and just kind of out there with big booties.
Curvy, but like, in your case, it's more of like an hourglass curve, whereas
Because it's put together.
But a lot of the women in Texas, it might be like a different type of curve. It might be more like a bell curve. It's like not really the kind of curve.
I say there's different classifications of booties, little big
This is
booty,
true.
big booty, big booty, and there's just booty.
And it just depends like where you are on the dude marketplace, because there's a lot of guys out there who just like booty so much that they're willing to accept a big booty, and the rest of the body can just be doing whatever it has to do.
Yes, most times like, it usually doesn't have like really no chest, no nothing, because that was again at that time big tits were a big thing, but that didn't really matter in Texas. I feel like.
But did you feel like you were getting attention from did you start dating specific types of dudes because of the fact that they were the ones who are really into your body type?
I don't think so. I feel like I don't think I even really had a type even back then. I think it was just, I don't know. I think maybe I took control of those situations and guys that I liked, but I don't think it had anything to do with per se with my actual attributes.
That's your personality though? You think you're like the big dog, you're in charge?
I am pretty alpha, but with men in relationships, I'm not alpha, but I do like to control the situation, which sounds very confusing. I think in the beginning, the initial part, like, I don't know. I feel like the chase, I feel like it has to be an equal thing. It can't just be one-sided.
Really? Interesting. Because you must have a shitload of dudes like coming up to you all the time. How do they break through the wall that you put up around yourself to protect
really
yourself?
Big walls up, it's
Whoa.
really, really, really bad to say. But it's, I think, again, that's why I feel like dating is so odd, these days, because, I was married out for a while and then, I did date after that. So it's just, I don't know, it's just very different. So I've seen where someone who was in the business, who I was married to, had nothing to do with wanting my name or anything from me. And then someone outside the business that wasn't anything, again, still not wanting anything. But I feel for me with dating wise, I feel like at first, the first thing that goes to my head is, do you want to date Alexis Texas or do you want to date Alexis?
And do you get a lot of that, or a lot of clout munching, that they just want a famous girl?
I feel like at first they always say that, they don't know you, they've never seen your movies, but I feel like it's kind of hard to say these days, which I don't know if that's pretentious or not, but like, I mean,
what do you get? You don't got Pornhub?
There's just so much porn out there, and
Right.
if you search any big booty, my name is going to pop up, or you may hear me in a song, you never know. So it's just really crazy. So that goes in my head first, and then, then it's like, are you going to entertain me? I like to be entertained. I like to laugh. I like to, and I'm also a strong personality. So those are all big things, traits to have. And so I feel like, sometimes it takes a hard individual to break down those walls, but it's, it's capable, it's possible. Like I said, I've dated and, not in my industry, and I've had fun, but it's just, I think that a lot of people are intimidated. It's the intimidating factor, because they think like, oh, you just want to date people in porn. You've dated people, you've been with porn stars. How do you date and have sex in your real life? And it's like, perfectly normally and fine.
Right.
I haven't shot in over almost 4 years now.
Wow, what is stopping you from shooting at this point, since your rate is probably way up? People want to get you in there.
That's true. For me, I think it was just, about evolving and where I am in my life. I'd had a really good career, and I always wanted to leave when I was on top, and I didn't want to have to be like, oh, she's still here and doing this, which, it's to each his own. I've always lived by that motto, but I feel like for me now, it's kind of like I've kind of joined the podcast around myself and kind of just been doing more branding on that aspect. So I started Private Talk a couple months ago, and I've been really focusing on that and just kind of getting out there and getting my voice heard, because I've had, Alexis Texas, and we all see what she does behind camera and these sex scenes, but now it's like the first time, even with social media, I haven't really given my opinion on a lot of things. So I feel like this is the first time for me to have a platform to kind of get out there and, meet new people as well, and kind of speak my mind on topics and things like that I want to kind of let my fans and new listeners know.
It's crazy how many non-porn opportunities there seem to be popping up for current or former adult stars. Like, it just feels like it's very much like a porn star used to be this thing that was completely separate from the rest of society. And maybe you'd hear about some famous guys hanging out with them, but you didn't see a ton of crossover between the adult content and the real world. And now it feels like girls who are popping porn stars are like one, you know, they're right around, they could just tune their Instagram up a little bit and all of a sudden they're just doing Fashion Nova brand deals. And that's their new identity.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I do believe that there are, you know, opportunities. I feel like they were always there, but I feel like we've also been shunned from a lot of things that I feel like, you know, the society and everything is kind of more not, like sex isn't as taboo as it once was. And I feel like people are kind of more open about doing it. And, you know, now if you watch, you know, regular movies on the screen, it's pretty much borderline like softcore porn sometimes, you know? So I feel like there is doors that are being opening, which I just feel like it's, you know, kind of finally a time that we have other platforms that we can use to show that we're not just sexual beings and creatures, that we do have minds, we do have other endeavors that we want to do. And I think that, you know, it's giving us more of a time and a platform to do that.
It's got to be weird for a lot of adult stars, though, because it's kind of like once you do a bunch of adult content, it's almost like it doesn't matter if you keep doing it, because it's once you do 5 scenes, it's like if you have 5 scenes or you have 500 scenes, it's like you make a lot more money from doing 500, but if you got 5 out there, it's almost like you might as well just keep doing it. I see a lot of girls who kind of like pivot to something else. They start having a different, you know, way of monetizing their life and everything, but then they'll just keep shooting low key and not really promote it on their social media.
I think a lot of it now, you know, the business has changed a lot from, you know, from when I got in until, you know, even currently and 4 years ago when I stopped shooting. I think that it just kind of really, it separates the people from like a porn star and people who are just porn actresses. I feel like there is a big difference. I feel like, but I think porn stars really used loosely. I feel like everyone who thinks if you've done 1 scene or 2, and I think that the star power is kind of like taken away nowadays. I feel like with that being said, I feel like it's about branding. It's about, you know, doing all those things, and that's what kind of longevity and what girls are really still current in the business that are doing those things, or do the 5 scenes and whatever. But like you said, it's never going to go away. If I do 1 scene, 5 scenes, 100 scenes, it's never going to go away. But I feel like it's, you know. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow me at White Girl Politicking. And if you like this clip, make sure you check out the full interview.